Welcome to Outlander Media Network. My name is Josh Barry, and today I'm joined by Alex of the band Violet Breed. How's it going, Alex?
Hey, good to see you. I'm all good. All a classic English day. It's raining outside and a cup of tea to my side, but I'm all good.
Nice. Sounds pretty cozy. Well, let's jump into your background a little bit. Like, how did you get into music in the first place?
So my introduction to music, I think, was at an early age, like most people, but my mum was a singer back in the day, and when she was at one of her own concerts, my dad was playing some LPs, and we were listening to music like Queen, Pink Floyd, and some early like Bowie and T-Rex records. But the one that stood out for me was Queen stuff. I was like fixed by Freddie Mercury's vocals, and hearing those sort of early Queen records was phenomenal. And then since then, from that age, then going through like high school into college, I discovered more music along the way and was really inspired by Paul McCartney and obviously the Beatles, which is an inspiration for most people. But that was like the point for me where I knew from like a creative perspective that I wanted to go into this. Like I remember hearing Beatles Blue and Sergeant Pepper. I was like, wow, you can do that. Like you can write these songs and you can take it to this level. It really was a big part for me to kind of take that leap and kind of go for music, I guess.
So your parents kind of were crucial in cultivating this musical desire of yours, huh?
Yeah, because they are, I think they grew up like Brian as well, like in that golden generation of like 70s, 80s, early 90s. So they kind of were around for all those amazing moments in music, like grunge with Nirvana, and then like the glam rock with T-Rex. And when you kind of been exposed to that at an early age, it really it sticks with you and it kind of makes like what you into in modern day. So it really helped a lot with my mum and dad's inspirations.
And when did you sort of notice the shift from like going from more of a music appreciator to somebody who is a writer?
There's like this moment for me when it was at college. I think in England, college is a bit of a different thing to what it is in America. College is like the place you go to. We have university, which is the equivalent of college. But anyway, I was in this college environment with this acoustic guitar, and I remember I just started one of our themes was you had to write a song and play it to the class. And I remember I just sort of put pen to paper on this idea, which was my first experience of writing a song. And that sort of moment when you expose yourself to an audience and there's that intimacy. And for me, when I kind of did this song and seeing the reaction of what people thought of it, I was like, oh wow, like this is cool. Like I could get used to this. It's kind of like that hunger to like not please, but I guess to be accepted, in like a society. And that was really like a big thing for me because you go through these times in your life, you don't really know who you are, and like you change your styles and your hair, and but that place and time of like the guitar and singing, it just felt right for me. And then having that inspiration with the music from my parents and those early records, it was all come together. It was a really good time.
Cool. Obviously, you draw a lot of influence from other artists. What kind of inspires you, maybe in your daily life, artistically or lyrically?
It may sound silly, but like having someone like Brian in my life is quite a big deal, and he inspires me massively because one of the craziest experiences, not like a massive one, but I've had his book and I was reading that when I was with him. And it's amazing to see and be inspired by that drive and that passion and hunger, what it really takes to be in a band and kind of, be successful. So in the day-to-day life and like how he runs his operations and stuff, like he's a massive influence. So to have him in a band with me is just, it's another tick in the box, really.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to hear about Brian a little bit more. For those that don't know, Brian Wheat, you've partnered with on this new project. He's from the band Tesla originally. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've known Brian like as a friend on a personal level for like 8 to 9, even maybe 10 years. And he was working with this band who I knew when we met. And then he came on board with a group that I was in at the time as like a producer and mentor and like kind of co-manager stuff and just kind of like an overall hub of experience. And then long story short, COVID hits and the whole world just turns on its head. So you think all that work and all that sort of momentum building to something just kind of come to a crashing halt. And not just with like independent up and coming bands. I mean, the whole world.
Right.
That project kind of like dissolved, and I learned a lot from that project. But during those periods of lockdown, me and him stayed in contact, and we've got this real strong relationship, like a father-son sort of thing. It's really cool. And I was like, just in my bedroom with this guitar, just writing. And he was like, dude, like this is amazing. Like, why don't we do something together? And it'd be a great platform for you. And I was like, God, like sort of like a pinch me on dreaming moment, like this amazing musician wants to be in a band or like collab with me. So it's like, hell yeah, let's just go for it. And then we kind of just, with like technology of like FaceTime and meeting up in Italy or here and stuff, like we do our own projects and we come together. And what's fascinating is with Violet Breed, like it's been a lot of time and a lot of work, but in terms when we're together, we get so much done. Like you don't need to be with someone constantly. That's what I think is really amazing about it, because the end result, like with the video and the song Awake, is like, wow, like that was like 2 days work, but as a whole thing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you talk about your connection with Brian on y'all's mutual influences,
Yeah.
musically?
So like we both, obviously there's like an age gap between us, but it doesn't interfere, or it doesn't affect the project in any way, because we both have the same passion and influences when it comes to music. So he brings a very heavy rock sort of style from where he's come from, and I might bring more of a modern thing. But the thing is, he's so up to date with music, like it's really quite fascinating. He's like he knows everything. So when we're influenced by stuff, and we did this project with Violet Breed, like the bands like My Chemical Romance, Queen of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters, all those sort of like moderny rock bands, commercial bands would like come to mind. But at the same time, we love like those early McCartney Wings records, those sort of DIY sort of sounds, and Zeppelin, and like all the sort of classicy things. But when you kind of blend them all together, I think we've got the perfect combination of what we're inspired by, but also offering something new.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the song's super cool, and I definitely hear all of those influences.
Yeah.
It's cool. It was cool doing some research on you guys and reading like you're so into, Beatles and Queen and My Chemical Romance, and so is Brian. And yeah, I just thought that worked so well together when you guys put it together and did the song together. It's awesome.
With like the influences, one of our like main things that we like to do together as like a hobby is record collecting. So like when he comes to UK and stuff, or wherever we are really, we always go to like record fairs. And so that's been a massive part in terms of like creating this sound, because he's given me so much knowledge. And like, we've been to these stores and he's gone like, okay, take this, and I'm listening to all these like bands I've never heard of before, like the Tubes and the Babies and the Best of Bread, like all these really old school, like classic American rock that I don't think translated when I was growing up as a kid in England. So to get that sort of extra musical exposure has been really cool. And again, like another great reason why it's good to come together, and the collaborations work really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's great to hear. I'm glad you guys are working well together, and
Yeah.
that's definitely a cool vibe. Well, I definitely want to talk about your debut single now that just came out, Awake. It came out about 2 weeks ago, mid-September.
Yeah, it come out on a unlucky day, Friday the 13th. But so far, it's all been, when that come through in a text message, I was like, oh my God, like there's gonna be something that's gonna go wrong with this. But it's all been going really, really well so far in terms of numbers and all the statistic boring stuff. But
Yeah, how has the response been? What's the audience saying?
well, on it's you get these individual apps. I think with music, that's the thing. It's you can music's so accessible now. Do you mean that there's like streaming services in America that I can't even get in the UK? Like this, is it Pandora? I think.
Yeah.
So I can't get that here. But the main focus is like Spotify and YouTube. So like today we just hit 20,000 streams from Spotify in 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. and I think we're hitting 50,000 now on the music video. So like the numbers are increasing every day, and doing stuff like interviews and getting out on radio. Today in the UK, it just got played by Joe Elliott of Def Leppard on his Planet Rock UK
Oh,
station. So that,
wow.
yeah, that was really cool. I was just driving in my car, and it's a bit of a trip, like going onto the station and then hearing Joe Elliott saying, "This is Violet Breed," and your song comes on. Like,
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
Congrats.
I guess so, Brian. Like, it's exciting and new for him, but he's experienced all these things. Whereas for me, like I'm like, whoa, like this is so cool. Like I'm in my car driving back from my day job and blasting out through my car stereo with Joe Elliott, this monumental rock star, announcing our new single. So that was a really big moment for me today. Actually, it's been really cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Can you talk about the writing process for this song and like what it means to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the best things I think I enjoy with working with Brian is how we develop and arrange songs. So like this song in particular, I remember just having this core idea with like the chords, the melody, and I had like these lyrics that were like the word awake was always in there, but the actual theme of the song was a bit different. I kind of wrote this thing that's a bit more romantic and stuff. And then when me and Brian decided to collab, he was like, right, this song's like, we got to restrip it. Let's go, let's talk about something real that people are going to relate to. Like kids on the radio want to hear something. They don't want to hear about like stuff that we've heard a million times over. Let's be fresh. And when he brought that sort of influence into it, it changed the whole perspective of the song. So we kind of have this amazing thing where if it sounds good on acoustic guitar, it's going to sound good recorded. So we always start with like an acoustic or core instrument and then kind of sketch it out from there, where we're kind of on like a Pro Tools rig, and we just, you do each section by section, arrange it into what's going to be the best version of it, and then just build it up from there. So then Brian will take the music, I'll be over here, just doing my little gigs, and he'll get like Dave Rue to play guitar on it, and he'll get some drummer who's insane to and build he does all that side of things. So I'm not really involved in that, but I kind of say, like, I know what I want it to sound like, and this is what's crazy. Every time I kind of give a description or like, oh, I want it to sound like a bit like Nirvana or whatever, it always comes back like how I envision the song, which is that's why it's like you don't need to be with each other, which is quite unique.
Yeah, and
But
you found a good partner to work with for sure.
hell yeah, yeah, it's like it's a really cool partnership to be involved in, and I just love that process of we were on vacation in Italy a few months ago, and I had my acoustic guitar there, and we did like 4 songs just like one night, just like sat around a little table in some small flat in a Tuscan square. It was awesome, and that's I mean. Then like those we're now build upon those songs hopefully for the future. So yeah, it's a really bizarre thing, but it's unique, but it works in its own way, and I love it.
Yeah. So you just mentioned 4 more songs. What else is in the pipeline? Are you guys working on anything?
Yeah, so we've got a like basically like a hard drive, or Brian's got a hard drive somewhere in the vaults, and there's probably about 5 or 6 completed songs, mixed, mastered, and ready to go. So as of like a couple of days ago, we've confirmed what I think we're going to drop next. When that will be, I don't know, because we're kind of like in full awake mode at the minute, where like we're pushing that song as much as possible, trying to get the interest. And I think it's done that. I think it's been the best introduction to the band it possibly could be. So when we release these future tracks, I think people are going to be hopefully we'll get the hook and bring them in. So, but yeah, we've got finished tracks, and we're working on about 3 or 4 tracks as well. So it's non-stop, but it's good.
Awesome. Do you guys have any tour plans or hopes, or do you play solo shows, or how's
At
that
the minute,
looking?
I think we're just really focused on just releasing music and kind of seeing if there's an audience who'd ever want to come see it. If there is, who knows? Like one day that'd be amazing. But for me, I just go out and play like these small clubs, bars, and stuff, and it's kind of like my living. Like I have to go out with my guitar now, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, and I'm still learning. Like I'm not like a star. I'm not famous. I'm just kind of well, how would you say, like learning the ropes. Like I'm kind of doing it the old school way, where like I'm just getting my guitar, getting a PA system and a mic, and just traveling and playing, and just kind of doing it like getting on the road and trying to learn that way. And now the songs come out, hopefully over here it might generate a bit more. But I think we're just going to concentrate on releasing, and then who knows? I mean, I can't predict the future, but it would be amazing if we could go out and play.
Awesome, man. Well, I think that's all I had for you. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I've really enjoyed that. That's some really cool questions. I really appreciate that you giving me the time to speak to you. It's been wicked.
Yeah,
Apologies for
absolutely.
that little connection problem, but I hope it won't cause any problems when you guys.
No, we should be good, but thank you, Alex, for chatting today. Everybody, be sure to check out Violet Breed's debut single "Awake," streaming everywhere now, as well as the music video on YouTube. Follow Violet Breed on social media to stay up to date on new releases and shows, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good afternoon.